But got it. Okay. We are live on Facebook, and but we are welcoming in this Sunday noon Matías Gustavo de Stefano at our live on Facebook podcast, and but we are welcoming in this perfect. I just closed any Facebook that I had open, so we don't have the microphone. So everyone, I hope you are okay, and it is a pleasure to have today with us Matías de Stefano. A lot of people are following in Romania from Gaia with the initiation series that he holds there. And we are happy to have you, Matías, and thank you so much for this short interview today in this Sunday noon.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, Matías, we live so anchored into the I, but what if we add I am? So that will be I am being, and I am being. You are starting this path of yo soy, I am, now since almost a year, in which we are rising the consciousness of this planet and our consciousness as well. So from your experience, what do you think of this, of the I am being, from your experience so far in the last year?
Well, we are in our languages, we are used to say I am to describe our state of emotion, our personalities, our way of life, do things. So we are used to describe the I am in a way that describes more the concept of it's me than I am. Yeah. Basically because in everything that we usually use this concept, is not as a concept, it's just as a mere act of description. We are in our life much more connected to the idea of the self, exactly. the ego, than the real being, which is very different. The ego is basically the tool that helps us to survive, is the one that makes us refer ourselves in the environment. Like we can relate where we are, what we are doing, what we should do, with whom, and all these kind of questions that we can ask, they all refer to the self, to the ego. The ego is kind of like an anchor to know what is the place that you occupy in a space, in a time. So we live our lives through that position. That's why we are used to say, according to my experience, or what I think, or what I do, or I would do it in this way, or I would do it that way, or like these perceptions of location, of where I belong, how do I do it. And when we go to the real concept of the I am, all that kind of disappears, because one thing is the tool, this descriptive tool, which is when we use normally I am this, I am that. And the other thing is the concept of the I am, which is very different. The concept of the I am is not related to an action. like the verb itself used to do. It's not related to a person as the subject used to do. The I am is related to the concept that anything that exists is part of only one network that belongs to only one being that we all are part of. So as much deeper you go into the concepts of how everything is connected, how everything is a projection from the rest of the things, we start to recognize, to understand that there's no separation, and there's no creator, that we all create, and that when we say we all create, it doesn't even exist because we are not separated. So whatever is happening in the universe is basically different forces, different vibrations of only one force. That would be the description, and that force is only one. So that's why when we describe in a concept the I am, is basically to describe that only one force that is just being in different perspectives, in different directions, through different vibrations. So it's not to describe someone, it's not to describe the action that someone is taking, is basically to recognize that that each one of us is part of something greater, that is not controlling us, that we are part of that control, that we are part of that creation. So for me, this whole year, to understand much more deeper the concept of the I am helped me to understand much more all the concepts that exist in the reality, to accept the others' realities, to accept my own reality, and just being what I am supposed to be at every time, in every process, not judging through the ego that feels that it's losing its place or something like this, because any place is good for the only one force. So that's the main difference that I could tell from all this time.
Beautiful. That many of us that we follow from Romania, we know that it's been a year since you are doing these alignments and live sessions from 2020 Egypt time on Arsayan Foundation, in which you taught us since a year how to build this connection with the I and I am. So I think it's beautiful, and it's hard work. It's been hard work for each of us, but it's part of the process, I guess, as you said, to create this big web, because we are all connected. But how there are many processes, and there have been many processes in this I am path. For many, how important is transcendence in this relationship between I and I am? And how open do we really are to transcend? Are we ready to transcend?
Well, I was explaining the other day the concept of transcendence. Transcendence means, trans means to go to the other side or beyond, and scendere means to go up or down, which is like Latin word that describes the movement in a stairs. So when we say transcendence, what we are saying is the ability to go beyond in another level. That would be the explanation, the etymological explanation. So during all this year, what I've been doing was a communication between the I and the am, as if they are steps on a stair. So the I has a problem or a question regarding its position in this time and space, and the am gives an answer that could be much more wide open to see different possibilities of time and space, not only the one that the eye is seeing at. And so this description is a transcendental conversation that helps us go from one point of view that we had in the first time into another point of view to the next level. So I would say that transcendence, usually when we speak about this in a spiritual way, we kind of think that it should be something great, like something amazing, like into another level of consciousness or in another dimension, something like this. But transcendence is basically the same thing as a child does when learns to multiply 2 times 2 or 3 times 3. There is a moment at school that you learn 2 times 2 is 4, and you had no idea about that, and you learn that, and eventually a few weeks later you will learn 3 times 3, so it's 9. And when you learn the 3 times 3, you already transcended the 2 times 2, but it doesn't mean that you leave it behind. It means that you now have a bigger knowledge or awareness of what it was before. So it's like going into another level to see the things that you saw before from a different perspective, but not leaving it behind. So transcendence is important to understand that it could be anything that you think that is very normal in life, like normal things, but you suddenly learn how to use it in a very different way or in a tiny different way. So you are transcending the previous point of view, how you use it, into learning something different. And I mean that like writing, cooking, cleaning, doing whatever you do in your common life, you are transcending all the time when you learn a different way of doing what you previously used to do. So when we speak about the inner transcendence and the big transcendence, it's not about living a state of consciousness that you have now into a new level, but going into that new level would be to have a better understanding from everything that you knew and felt before. So you are living one level, which is not that you won't leave those situations anymore. It means that you will be a bit higher to see it better, to see better what you were living before. And so now you have much more wisdom, much more understanding. That would be really transcending. But what is interesting about this word is that transcending is not only going up. There are some people that transcend going down, which means that there's people that maybe are very spiritual and they need to transcend spirituality from the 5th dimension in order to connect to the 3rd dimension. So they transcend into our realities. And this is something that also is important to know, because we are not all doing the same path. We are going into different directions. So what for someone is transcending the 3rd dimension to connect to the divine, for others is coming from the divine to connect to the 3rd dimension.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess that what is important to understand from the process of transcendence is to realize that it's just a logical description of how someone is learning a new way of doing the same thing they were doing.
I could associate like transcendence with novelty. It comes, this relationship.
With what?
With novelty, with the new,
Yeah.
stepping into the new.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Taking into account that it's been a year in which we've learned how to build this connection between the I and the I am, Many of us have transformed and transcended, each one of us in its own way. How do you see this? Because it's the Aquarius era. So how do you see this divine aspect of our I am human experience in this area of Aquarius 2000 years from now? Like how we are going to keep transcending into this Aquarius area? How do you see it from your perspective?
From my perspective, how I see the next 2000 years, that would be?
Yes. In this era of Aquarius.
Well, what I expect and have an image of how it's going to be, the first stage of this era will be very technological and very chaotic too, because we won't have the time to adapt to so much innovation. Our mind cannot adapt so fast. Our emotions cannot adapt so fast to the changes that this era is willing to show us. And obviously, the key for all this next 2000 years is very, very technological, and something that is way different from what the people were expecting from Aquarius time. This is why in this whole path, whoever was following every day, perhaps you have seen, I am a spiritual person, but I try to bring all the spiritual concepts into a biological concept or a technological concept, like trying to understand the spirit through biology, through DNA, through or trying to understand it through vibration and wavelengths and all these kind of things, because we are coming from an era of 2,500 years that was Pisces, that is all about love and trying to connect to the divine and be in service by love with others. And it's like the hippie dream, I would say. That's what Pisces would love to do. But that was the age of Pisces. Spirituality and communities and all these kind of things are much more related with Pisces. So a lot of people from the age of Pisces is trying to project their idea of spirituality and unity and peace and all these kind of things from Pisces into Aquarius. And Aquarius is not that. Aquarius is much related to the I am than the we are. Aquarius is much related to changes than stability and peace. Aquarius is about
and movement, like we walk
movement. Yes, movement and doing weird things that no one thought before. And Pisces is about feeling a love for everything and morality also. So for Aquarius, there's no morality. For Aquarius, it's like, why not? So that's why I guess that we have to be really prepared for an age that will encourage us all the time to push limits, to break our perception of how things should be. So this is why I guess that working with the inner process of the I am to adaptation to new points of view, it's very important, because this whole age will be very challenging on that. So I guess that I cannot judge the future of this era with the vision of the era itself, because as you see, the era of Pisces has ended really bad because we didn't do inner work. We took all the bad side of Pisces, and we have been living 2,000 years of all the craziness of that sign, like living in a dream or a nightmare, trying to push others to live our own peace and idea of the divine. So very chaotic. That was how we see Pisces now. Like you see how this past 2,000 years could have been any related with Pisces. It was much more about Aries than Pisces. And the reason is because we didn't do the inner work of Pisces. So we were pushing everyone to the idea of love that we thought, and we didn't have the time to make it for ourselves. So we started to push everybody. And that's why idealisms, which is very from Pisces, the ideas of a new world and all these kind of things, were controlling everyone that thought different. That's very Pisces when you think about it. When Pisces is not worked within,
and now the Aquarius is waking us up with building the relationship of the I am, which was not found in
exactly. Yes, and I guess that the first period of this era, we should really work on that, or otherwise these 2,000 years will end up in a very weird time, like kind of Terminator movie.
Oh my God. So we need to be open to learn and to adapt, you know.
We need to, yes, and to learn how to use the I am, how to connect ourselves with the real spirit of Aquarius, because otherwise we would do the same thing. Exactly. Of a crazy. Yes, of course, that Pisces was much more related about communities, and Aquarius is much related to the individual. So we have to really prepare the individual to be fully aware of itself. So whatever comes, whatever innovation comes, we can really use it in the benefit for everyone.
And all you did this year was to prepare the relationship with the I am, that you know, some of the path will be closed in August for you, and another one will start soon. So and in 2022 we will celebrate the beginning of the I am time in the Aquarius area. So what is the path that will start for you? I know it's the dragon path that will start in August. So you've been a year in Egypt transmitting and offering so much information every day. And I invite everyone to go to yosoi.red to read as much as you can if you didn't catch those. And because Matías will end the transmissions soon in August. And what does the dragon path means to you? Like in a short sentence, if you can share this with us. Because
to me, to me is one of the most challenging things that I did and I am expecting to do, because the dragon's path is about going through the kundalini of yourself to clean everything and to kind of balance the whole thing that we have been learning during this year. So it's like I take it like a very strong initiatic path, which I will also do transmissions, of course, through the same channel while being in the lakes where I'm supposed to be. So it's not that I will disappear. Yes, but I won't be every day as usual. So the Dragon's Path is a connection of the energy that flows from north to south of the planet.
And of course, it's a big challenge because it's Aquarius time. So voila, you are doing this path in Aquarius time. And I don't know, I feel it's going to be so different. A lot of challenges.
A lot.
It means a lot, of course.
It changed many times. This path was the most challenging because it changed many times and ways. So I guess that finally I got it. So
and
we will do it all together.
Finally, we got it. So we will support you in every way, and because you've created such a beautiful connection with people from all over the world that are watching you, and a lot of people from Romania as well. So I guess all these people will be right there with you on this dragon path as well, supporting in every way.
Yeah.
After the 6 months of the dragon path, we are going to celebrate the starting of the Yosoi I Am time. And it will be a great event in Egypt. Can people still register for the 22 of February 2022? You will be in Egypt again. Can people still register from all over the world, from Romania, from?
Yes. We during this whole path we have been working with 10 days, weeks of 10 days. So 9 days of each chakra and one which is the Taurus to wrap it all up. What I'm going to do in the Dragon's Path is 9 lakes related to each one of those days and chakras, but during 6 months. And the day of Taurus, which is to close everything or to expand everything, will be that day, February 22nd next year. And yes, the event will be here in Giza, aside the pyramids, and in the pyramids. And we divided it in 4 groups of different tasks that we will do, which are the elements water, fire, earth, and air. And they are related to the economical possibilities of each person. So the group water, it's already full. Yes,
it is.
Yes, it's a cruise where we will go to a temple. So that's full. And then we have the second one, which is fire. In fire, we have still many places to be filled up. So we are inviting everyone to come to the group Fire, mainly because it's the biggest group that we are organizing ourselves, arranging everything. And the group Water and Fire are the ones that will have private visits inside the pyramids and the Sphinx. And all the preparation with us as an organization. So the other 2, which is earth and air, are the cheapest one because we don't get in charge with anything. So it's for all the people that wants to come but doesn't have the resources to pay for all the other things that need a lot of money to be arranged for. So we open the possibility for these 2 groups of people that can come to meditations, to be in the event, in the concert, everything, without needing to pay much. But yes, we are encouraging mostly the people from the group of Fire that we need a certain amount of people to make it possible. So.
And by the way, I am in the Fire group, so I cannot wait for the event in 2022. And everyone, as Matías said, you can still register, which is beautiful. I've been recently there in Giza, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful trip, and I fully recommend, if you feel like coming and celebrating this I am path. It will be an amazing time in Giza in February 2022. And as you've heard, Matías, you can still register for one of the groups. I will place the links where everyone can take a look. It's yosoy2022.org.
Okay.
And everyone can have the information there. Matías, I thank you so much for being with us here in Romania. I know many are following, and I'm glad for that. It's been more than 15 minutes, and I'm sorry I kept you longer.
Don't worry. I speak a lot.
No, it's fine. I totally enjoy it, and I thank you for your time. And it will be on YouTube as well, this interview, so anyone can watch it later as well. I thank you, and I wish you all the best and a great time in Egypt until August. You have just a small little time there.
Yes. Yes.
So
thank you very much.
And all the best. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.